If you're into self-care, but you also like metaphysics, maybe you like practices that are a bit mystical or a little bit different, then this is the perfect technique for you. Go ahead and grab your notebook. You're going to want to take notes. Let's quickly jump into everything. Not only am I going to teach you about the practice of Yoga Nidra, also called psychic sleep or yogic sleep or non-sleep deep rest, but I'm going to guide you through creating and setting up your own practice that you can use in order to improve your relationship with yourself. Yoga Nidra or psychic sleep or non-sleep deep rest is a meditative practice. If we think about the words Yoga Nidra, Nidra is the Sanskrit word for sleep, and yoga or yog means to yoke or to stretch. So what we're doing is we're stretching waking consciousness into the state between waking and sleeping. Typically, this is a state where you would lose consciousness, but here we're trying to maintain and even improve it. There are many stages to the practice, but it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the part of your nervous system that kicks in after some type of stress or traumatic experience, and it basically calms you back down. In the practice, you will go from the active brainwave state down to the deepest delta and gamma brainwave states, but you will learn to do so consciously. You'll also be creating a Sankalpa or a short statement of intention that you will use with the practice in order to shift your thoughts, beliefs, and patterns of behavior. I have a longer in-depth video going through what exactly is Yoga Nidra, and I'm gonna leave the link here. It's called Use the Power of Psychic Sleep to Transform Your Life. Very quickly though, let's go through the stages of the practice so you can get a bit more understanding of what exactly the practice involves and what you would be doing. The first thing that you'll probably do is a pre-practice. Yoga Nidra involves laying still because you're going to basically be trying to make yourself fall asleep. So for some people, this can feel a bit uncomfortable having their body lay still without moving. So in the pre-practice, you would be doing a bit of yin yoga or light stretching or whatever type of physical movement you like. Nothing too heavy because you don't want to stimulate the body. We're trying to calm it down. Then you're going to get into your supported posture. Most of the time, this is the Shavasana pose, laying on your back with your hands a bit away from your body and your feet a little bit apart. But there are variations, and you don't have to feel like you have to stick to the Shavasana pose. You can select another pose, but you do want to get comfortable enough to allow your body to rest in a state of stillness. Then you're going to go into a light stage of relaxation. So this could be a bit of breath work, a little bit of sighing, as well as a light visualization. Then you'll introduce your Sankalpa. Typically by this period, you're already nice and comfortable. You'll repeat your Sankalpa in your mind 3 times, and then you'll go through what's called the rotation of consciousness. During the phase of rotation of consciousness, this is the part of the practice that is referred to as pratyahara. This means the withdrawal of the senses. So what you're doing in the practice overall is you are withdrawing all of your senses, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling from the outside world, and you're coming into this inside place. It's metaphorically often taught as an image of a turtle withdrawing its limbs into a shell. So this is what you're going to be doing during this rotation of consciousness phase. Then after that, there sometimes is another visualization phase, and this is the part of the practice of developing concentration while in this in-between state. We're trying to achieve some balance. So you're not completely asleep, you're not completely awake. Then there's going to be a period of the practice where you're just resting in openness, resting in awareness. Then you will bring yourself out of this state, go ahead and go back through your Sankalpa and completely wake up. So that was a lot, but I tried to sum a lot of things up very quickly. Once again, I have a video that goes over the practice more in depth and a little bit more slowly for you. But I'm assuming that you're coming to this video because you're interested in actually getting going in this practice and you want to use it in order to improve your relationship with yourself, your self-love, and to use it for self-care. So in this portion of the video, I'm going to help you set this up. The first thing that you want to do is go ahead and create your Sankalpa. This is very important because this is the key part of your practice that is going to make this very personalized for you. I have a few journaling prompts to guide you through that is going to help specify this for you, to make it real and to get you where you want to be. So go ahead and grab your journal. I'm going to quickly go through those prompts. You can pause the video at any time to go ahead and notate all of them down, or maybe you just want to pause it and do them one by one as the video presents them. Your first journaling prompt is really going to just be to write about what's currently going on in your life. And this is probably what I label as contrast, some type of negative experience. Typically, that's where our attention is going to be drawn to in our life, the places where things aren't going right. And this is what generates that desire of, I would like things to be different. So for many people, they don't know exactly what that is or how to get there. I'm going to be helping you with that. But the perfect place to start is where you are. So go ahead and take a few moments and write about what is the current contrast that brought you to this video. What's going on in your life? Your second prompt is going to be to envision your life as if it were perfect, or as if it were as best as it could be. Now, don't put any limitations on yourself. This is completely imaginary. So go ahead and use your imagination. Don't think about your past or what you've been through. Pretty sure you've already heard your past does not determine your future. You can get from any place from where you currently are. So be realistic. Think about both your short-term and your long-term goals, and go ahead and take a few moments, write a paragraph or two about how you would like your life to be, or what it would be like if your life were the exact way you want it to be. Your third prompt is going to be to think about, how do I feel about myself and my life in this vision? With manifestation and the law of attraction and a lot of these mystical techniques, the focus really is on your internal feeling and your internal guidance, and less on the external circumstances and situations, because all of those things you don't have control over. But the thing that you do have control over is how you respond and react in your internal system. So the more that you can get a grasp on that, then the things that are going on externally will naturally follow. So think about your answer to prompt 2. And in this prompt, you want to specifically think about emotions and feeling words. Go ahead and try to make a list of maybe 4 or 5. Your fourth prompt is going to be just to write a few more words. Write 4 or 5 more words, single words that characterize your answer for prompt number 2. So your vision of how you want your life to be, or what it could possibly be like. See if you can condense that down into just a few theme words, you could say. And then your last prompt is going to be to go ahead and create a short statement, a short positive statement of intention or direction. So just reread back through the answers that you have already given. This is going to be different for everyone, and kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together and begin to connect those dots. You want your phrase or your Sankalpa to be short because you're going to be memorizing it. It could be something like, I am, and you fill in the blank, or I am open to. It could be there could be many possibilities or varieties of a Sankalpa. It doesn't have to begin with an I am statement, but go ahead and put this together. Now that you have created your Sankalpa, what you're going to do is go ahead and carve out at least 15 minutes a day. I would say 15 to 30 minutes a day. Create a set time and space. That way you don't overbook yourself or give yourself another excuse on why you can't practice. I don't have the time, or I never remember, or I have other responsibilities, or whatever the case may be. Go ahead and eliminate all of that now and give yourself a specific time and place where you're going to practice. So this could be, I'm going to practice on my lunch break at 2 p.m. every day. I'm going to practice when I wake up. I'm going to practice in my bed after I wake up the first thing in the morning. Instead of immediately getting out of the bed, I'm going to go ahead, give myself permission to stay in bed a bit more and practice Yoga Nidra. It could be a before bed practice. Say, I'm going to practice at 9 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. every day. Give yourself that set place as well. I'm going to practice in my room, in my living room, near my altar, wherever. You want to get very specific so you know exactly what it is that you're doing, and it's very no nonsense. You can get straight to it. The next thing for your practice, you want to go ahead and make your space very comfortable for yourself. So you could grab a yoga mat, a light blanket, and 1 to 2 pillows. Typically, I will put the yoga mat down and maybe lay the blanket on top of it, folded up, to give myself an extra layer of padded cushion, and then place one pillow under my head and then the other pillow under my knees. You could do this same sort of setup. Some other people use even more props to give themselves even more support. You're going to lay in the Shavasana pose, so this is going to be on your back. If you've ever practiced yoga, this is typically the final pose that you end in, because you want to be relaxed, but you don't want to completely fall asleep. You don't want to lose consciousness. You could have something to cover your eyes, a sleep mask, and you even may want to go ahead and grab your pen and a journal. I would suggest not lighting any candles or incense, because once again, you're going to be practicing pratyahara, and you don't want anything that's going to hold your senses and tie them to the outside world. So if you're actively smelling something that's keeping your attention, then that can distract you from the practice. So if you've done all these steps and you are ready to get started, I have created a short Yoga Nidra video for self-love. I'm going to go ahead and link the video to come right after this one. So if you are interested, you can go ahead and try this practice out today. Go ahead and check the description box, because I'm also going to put an additional resource there for you if you're working on self-care and personal development. I have a course called the Learning Myself Workshop Series. It's a 5-part series about learning more about yourself, your passions, your interests, and your hobbies, developing goals in life, and also creating a self-care routine. It comes with a companion workbook. I'm going to put a link where you can get chapter 1 of that workbook. It also has journaling prompts and self-exploration exercises. I'll put that in the description box below. And if you have enjoyed this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos.